Sports stadiums around the world have been built to be unbelievable. Some stadiums are unbelievable because of their designs, while other stadiums are unbelievable because of their history. Countries throughout the world have competed to build the most unbelievable stadiums. Well, here are the 10 most unbelievable stadiums in the world. Number 10. Sangam Stadium, South Korea. In 2001, South Korea built the Seoul World Cup Stadium, also known as the Sangam Stadium, specifically for the 2002 FIFA World Cup. They designed this stadium in a way that honored their roots. The roof represents the image of the traditional Korean flag. It was designed in a beautiful way using fiberglass fabric and polycarbonate glazing to copy the look of hanji, which is a traditional Korean paper. If you attend a game at night, you will see the light streaming through the roof in a way that resembles the traditional Korean lamp. It is currently the second largest stadium in South Korea after the Seoul Olympic Stadium, but is the largest rectangular stadium in all of Asia. It has a capacity of 66,704 seats, which includes 816 seats for VIPs, 754 seats for press, and 75 private skybox rooms. It's been home to both the Korea Republic national football team and the K-League 1 club FC Seoul. Number 9. FNB Stadium, Johannesburg, South Africa. FNB Stadium opened in South Africa in 1989. It has become known as the Soccer City Stadium, but it has another nickname, Calabash, which is a traditional African pot. The nickname comes from the stadium's unique shape. The outside of the stadium is cladded with mosaics which are reminiscent of the African pot with fire and earth colors. It even has rings of light around the bottom which simulates fire underneath the pot. It hosted the 2010 FIFA World Cup final. In order to prepare for the World Cup, it underwent massive renovations. The Bogertman and Partners renovations made it the largest stadium on the African continent with more than 90,000 seats. Besides the World Cup games, it held another important historical event in 2013 when the funeral ceremony of the esteemed South African leader Nelson Mandela was held there. Number 8. Allianz Arena, Munich, Germany. Allianz Arena, which was officially inaugurated in 2005, is the beautiful home to both Germany and Bayern Munich, one of the most famous teams in European football. This stadium holds 70,000 people, but even if it is not the largest, it is definitely one of the coolest. The outside of the arena has about 3,000 color-changing electric panels, making it the only stadium on the continent that can change colors. Since two teams call this stadium home, the color changes based on which teams are playing in the stadium. The light show doesn't stop once you enter the stadium. With 750 screens surrounding the stadium, fans are entertained throughout the game. If all those lights make you hungry for some reason, the stadium also has 2 full-size restaurants and thousands of kiosks to give you the energy to keep on cheering. Number 7. The Float at Marina Bay, Singapore. What makes this stadium unique is pretty obvious, and also it's in its name. The Float is a stadium that floats, as its name suggests, over the Gulf waters. It was inaugurated in 2007 in Singapore. The idea for it came from the organizing committee of the 2007 National Day Parade. They wanted a new venue for the parade, and Colonel Teo Jing-seong, the chairman of the committee, wanted something on the Marina Bay because of the city skyline that would form a beautiful backdrop for the parade. The floating stadium, which is made entirely out of steel, measures 120 meters by 83 meters wide, making it the largest of its kind. However, it only carries up to 1,070 tons of weight, which equals to about 9,000 people. That's not many people compared to other stadiums. However, on land, it can hold 30,000 people, which is why most events take place on the land. It holds events such as soccer games, car races, concerts, and fireworks. Number 6. Bird's Nest Stadium, Beijing, China. The most complex stadium ever constructed, the National Stadium in Beijing, China, is famously known as the Bird's Nest Stadium due to its appearance. Creating such a complex structure cost China $450 million. It was designed for the 2008 Beijing Olympic Games, where it held the events of track and field, football, havelock, weight throw, and discus. Although it resembles an intimate bird's nest, it is definitely not small by any means. It has 90,000 seats, but its capacity has been reduced to only 80,000. Today, it not only serves as a tourist attraction but still holds international or domestic sports competition. And in 2022, the opening and closing ceremonies of the Winter Olympics will be held there. And also, if you're enjoying the content, don't forget to slap a like on the video. It'll be very much appreciated. Number 5. National Stadium, Kaohsiung, Taiwan. Taiwan saw China's Bird's Nest Stadium and thought, we gotta do better. The National Stadium in Kaohsiung, Taiwan, formerly known as the World Games Stadium, broke the planning and design records in 2009. Although it only holds 40,000 seats, which is about half of the Chinese stadium, the way it was designed and its shape make it unique. Its odd shape is meant to resemble a dragon, even though some people have stated that it looks more like a question mark. It was built on the principles of green construction. The raw materials used can all be recycled, and it uses solar energy to provide its power needs. This is the first stadium in the world to use solar power technology. The solar panels cover the large external face of the stadium and generate so much energy that it has some additional power that is saved after the use that is required for its own operation. It is now mostly used for Taiwan football matches, but Maroon 5 did perform there in 2019. Number 4. Wembley Stadium, London, England. London, England has been home to several great stadiums, but the home of the English football team surpasses them all. The Wembley Stadium was first built in 1923 and was blessed by King George V, who famously called it the Sacred Turf. This already made it a pretty cool stadium, but it got even cooler. The stadium was completely destroyed in 2000 and a new one was reincarnated in its ruin by 2007. This new stadium is known for its giant arch that rises above it. The arch measures about 134 meters and supports the entire roof. This arch allows the roof to open and close, but not completely. The roof closes just enough so that every seat, all 90,000 of them, are completely covered in case of poor weather, but the field is not. Apparently, the designers of the arch worried a lot about the fans being comfortable, but figured the players could handle any type of weather. The stadium has held many important events and has even garnered the attention of players across the pond. The NFL visits Wembley Stadium twice a year. I wonder how many debates over the word football that causes each visit. Number 3. Maracana Stadium, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. This stadium is the perfect example of a beautiful, classic stadium. The Maracana Stadium, named because the fans love to do the Maracana, just kidding. It is named Maracana because in the indigenous Tupi-Guarani language, it means a type of parrot that inhabited the region. The stadium is the pride of Rio and of Brazil. It was inaugurated in 1950 and contained an impressive amount of seats, 200,000 to be exact, that were almost all filled during the World Cup final that year between Brazil and Uruguay. This was the largest football event ever held. Talk about true football fans. The stadium has now been reduced to 80,000 seats and has held the 2014 World Cup along with the 2016 Rio Olympics. It has also invited some iconic performances such as Frank Sinatra and Paul McCartney. Number 2. Camp Nou Stadium, Barcelona, Spain. Some people describe this next stadium as a kind of modern temple. At the Camp Nou Stadium in Barcelona, Spain, the religion is football and the god is Leo Messi. There's even a chapel in the stadium. It was inaugurated in 1958 and has been played in ever since. Teams play in front of 99,454 seats, usually almost completely packed. This makes it the largest stadium in Europe. It used to even hold 120,000 people with standing rooms before capacity was regulated. It received a 5-star rating in 1998 from the UEFA. The name of the stadium also has a special history. When it was first built, President Francis Miró Sanz and his board chose the name Estadio del FC Barcelona, but fans refused to call it that, even after a referendum that officially endorsed the name. Fans simply called it New Ground, or Camp Nou, to differentiate it from the former Le Court Stadium that it had replaced. The name debate didn't end there. People then argued whether it was Camp Nou or No Camp. This was settled in 2001 when President Joan Gaspart called for another referendum, and 68.25% of the club members voted to make Camp Nou the official name of the stadium. I wonder if the other members voted for No Camp. Number 1. Panathinaikos Stadium, Athens, Greece. One of the most historic attractions of Athens, Greece is the Panathinaikos Stadium, also known as Kallimamaro. It is the only stadium in the world to be built entirely out of marble. It was not always made out of marble. This stadium was originally built in 330 BC for the Panathinaik Games. Then, in 144 AD, the stadium was rebuilt in marble by Herodes Atticus, an Athenian Roman senator. So we can still say it's been a marble stadium for quite a while. Even back then, it had the capacity of 50,000 seats. It was largely abandoned in the 4th century after the rise of Christianity. It wasn't reopened until 1869, when it hosted the Zappos Olympics in 1870 and 1875. It also hosted the opening and closing ceremonies of the first modern Olympics in 1896 and held 4 out of the 9 contested sports. The Olympic roots were brought back home in 2004 when the Games were once again hosted in this stadium. It is also the last venue in Greece from where the Olympic flame handover ceremony to the host nation takes place. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell to never miss a video from us.